Keller is the only one with shoes on.
Hello, everybody! Welcome to the 5th annual Claritas Ask Me Anything. My name is Keller. This is...
Hi, I'm Chris.
Hello, I'm Keenan.
And I'm Chase.
And we are going to have a brief message from one of our RNs.
Oh, this is exceptionally awkward. Hi, everyone. I'm not a GM. I'm an ARM. And I wanted to announce something real fast before we get started. Thank you. Rhiannon and I have put together something that we're calling Year of Claritas, leading up to Claritas' 15th year anniversary, which will be next year, about a year from now. And we just came up with like a series of events and activities that will be occurring monthly, that are just ways for us to kind of engage as a community. And I don't know, this community is a lot more than just like once every other month Claritas for me. So I think it'll be fun to have a way for us to be social and to appreciate this community and to hang out with each other, or at least interact on Discord or whatever. So keep an eye out for a Discord channel that will be about that. And our next one's going to be a rummage sale. It'll be up at the next event. Look on Discord for details on that. These are going to be fully player-run, player-organized, informal, not official Claritas things. Yeah, that's all. I hope you guys are excited about it. Yeah, I'll let them go back to being official now.
All four of us framed it.
Surely good fun.
Alright, so welcome to the Ask Me Anything portion of the AMA. First, we just want to say happy birthday, Coleman! Many of you have already said some of the Discord, but obviously we just wanted to wish him a little happy birthday here on the AMA since we had the chance. And we are going to just do a couple of reminders, a little bit of housekeeping here at the beginning. Remember, try not to say anything about ongoing storylines or plot stuff, because there's differences between juniors and seniors, and we will have both of those in chat, so we don't want to spoil any potential things that people may or may not have seen on a given story point. And for a general down low of which GMs are in charge of which kin, I do most of the animal style kins, so that's like the Wolfsbane and the Fawn and the Catra and the Minotaur and stuff like that.
I got goblins, I got gnomes, I got bondi, naiads, and dryads.
I got the elves. That would be the high elves, the wood elves, the dark elves, and the Caesarius elves. I have the orcs and the feralith.
And then I do the trolls and fairies and dwarves and squirrels, jades and ethereals.
And our hearts.
And
you have our
yes.
hearts.
Thanks. And then, go ahead.
All of the ones that Coleman was in charge of, such as Draconin and more, are now being shared amongst all of us. So if Yorkin was not mentioned, either it was one of the ones that was mine and I didn't say it like Sandoran, or it's and we're just going to say at the offset, because somebody's probably inevitably going to ask it, it is 1397 AZ. All right, cool. All right. And with that...
That's the year, by the way.
Yes.
On record.
On the record. With that, we will be moving towards our questions.
Woo! First one from Kaysen. As GMs, what have been some of your favorite Claritas moments from the past year? I gotta remember what happened in the past year.
So much has happened in the year.
Yeah, right. The part of the AMA we watched.
I know, right? We're just like all staring off into space.
Memories of having talkies.
I'll go first. I think the Tournament of Champions was so much fun.
That was
Your event was so much fun to be a part of and NPC for, and like it just stuck. All of the quests to capture the flag, seeing Aiden absolutely just book it was so much capital F fun for me.
Yeah, I think the kind of thing that we as GMs do on rare occasion that I do think is particularly delightful is the kind of thing like that where we have all the GMs kind of, some of you may or may not know this, we like independently created the teams, and so we didn't necessarily know what each other's teams were going to be doing when they were facing each other, and so having that kind of like surprise factor from our fellow GMs on what kind of chicanery they came up with for various events was always delightful.
Yeah, I think that's actually probably the highlight for me as well, admittedly. Also partially because, it affected the trolls so much, and so now I get to like riff off of all of the stuff associated with trolls. I love trolls. Trolls are great.
And they got a big Coliseum now.
They got a big Coliseum now. Lots of games going on there. It's some good stuff. But I did think that just the different teams was really fun, and I thought it was really fun also to see. I like it when we can break people out into smaller groups of people to go and do stuff. So it's really awesome to see the players be able to go and do things in small groups of people in kind of creative and interesting ways. I think it gave a lot of opportunity for creative expression with different classes and that sort of thing in a way that doesn't always happen, and I really like that a lot.
I'll go smaller scale. The last junior event for the quest that was hunting the worm in the wastes. For the junior event specifically, we had a bunch of spell balls tied to strings, and it ended up being so entertaining to watch people try to like. There was the little Tatsumo poisonous rats having to like lasso it as Julia was just chasing people with little batons, and then make sure they don't let the swinging thing touch themselves. And yeah, it was just very simple thing that turned out to be really entertaining.
You really like changed the game.
Yeah.
Like going forward, you guys have cracked something.
Oh no!
There's also something super delightful about when the in-game and the out-of-game matches just go.
Like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Good question.
Comes together.
That was good.
Yep.
Good question, Jason.
Next, oh boy, who are some of the most famous pirate ships in the history of the world? Aiden.
Mr. Pirate Guy?
Pirates now. That is a great question, and the answer is there aren't really many. Piracy is something that is kind of average. Like there are a lot of people that are the consideration of pirates is just doesn't sail under the flag of a country. So there's a whole lot of them, and then also any of the bad ones there's usually a lot of effort put into not let them become too infamous. For the people that are not related to that, just to keep tensions low and whatnot. So there aren't many that have created much infamy, and they kind of like it that way. The most notable would probably be Red Tide, because they're the ones they care the least about that and make the most ruckus places, as well as probably Blind Mermaid, as they are one of the largest fleets, and therefore just they're kind of everywhere. Amongst pirates, the Black Mist is probably more so. They keep a lot out of the public eye because they are just one ship, which is a little odd compared to other crews. So amongst pirate and that kind of inner circle is probably those, and the Emerald Crown have a bit more sway because they're taken a bit more seriously in circles that know what is up, but they don't make too much of a splash in not those circles. So probably that.
Good question.
Good question. Good question.
Thank you, Aiden.
Aiden's like, I'm going to be the most famous pirate.
and why is it me?
His anime arc is starting now.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Our next question comes from Rhiannon. Which of the faction master's novel talents do you like the most?
I mean, I can't be all like the collective.
No.
My favorite is the thief, the bag of the bag of convenience. It's basically just bag of tricks, but it's for anything that he might need, like a mundane item. So if someone needs like a screwdriver or a key to their place, he'll have it, and it's just so fun to think about.
That is delightful. I definitely like the Paladins faction one where so now you know why he's always eating. Like it's lore accurate, fair with content. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Whenever he is eating, his DR can go to 0.
It's fantastic. Very good.
I think mine is actually the same as Keller's. Dr. Munchiologist. It's just so good. I love it so much. It does make me have to consume a great many more calories in life. Whenever the Paladin's around, but
First time you did that?
oh man, one quest and like over 1,000 calories. It was a rough time.
They switched to rice cakes after
I
that.
have switched to rice cakes since then. So
Would you eat? Was it like chips or something?
it was lemon bars. Yeah, we got a big mistake there.
Was lemon bars or powdered donuts harder?
Lemon bars was harder.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Powdered donuts was
That's
kind of great because then I
impressive,
could like meme about like the powder coming out of my mouth when I was talking, sort of thing.
Okay, that's fair.
But now it's just rice cakes. Otherwise, I just die afterwards. It's not great.
I do think that it also encapsulates the idea of novel talents exceptionally well, where it both has to do with him being a Fairlith and being a paladin tied into one thing as Dr. Munchiologist, so it just works out very well.
I think in a similar way, I like the Goblin Faction Master, the Cleric Skill Faction Master of he can just hear his name pronounced incorrectly from everywhere.
Yeah.
That's another one that just gives great reasoning to why he always shows up when people are dying, because they're saying his name wrong, and it's really entertaining to me. Also, the thought that he's just hearing people screaming anytime at any point in the entire Devilshire
Coming up with
Explains-
those was
yeah.
quite fun.
Yeah,
It was quite fun coming up with
Yeah, I
those.
like that one because it just gives a lot of it fits the character vibe. That's the whole point of these is to make a character feel more unique, and I think it fits that really well.
Yep.
Suspiciously anonymous.
Uh-oh.
Are the XP crystals transferable? Like if my character gave one of his XP crystals to another PC, or if the other PC simply stole the crystals, will they be able to spend that XP on their own skills? All right, we're gonna keep an eye on whoever's trying to steal
I
XP.
don't know.
But the short answer is no. When somebody gets an experience, it is their experience, very literally. So any adventurers can see it and potentially interact with it. If you're like kind of talking, you give it to your friend, they can hold and look at it, but they would never be able to use or interact with it. And at any point, it would go back to being yours at some point. And even if you willfully like tried to give it to them permanently, that was not an experience that they had. That was an experience that you had. So they are stuck and linked to an individual person.
Inextricably tied.
It's the next event name.
Yeah. Next up, we have Ellie asking, "How old are Draconans as akin?" This is a good question that I don't know off the top of my head. I do know that their age is listed somewhere.
We gotta pull up.
They are.
No, wait. Remember this. Hold on. I got it.
It's like they are on the older side.
Yes.
It's around there, yeah. 4,000 or 5,000 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're
Somewhere around there.
quite old and ancient.
Excellent question. Thank you, Ellie.
The resident Draconan.
From Zach, where do most textiles in Claritas come from? Are there industrialized knitting machines made by dwarves or gnomes? Well, if that's going to be made, it's going to be made by gnomes, not
Yep.
dwarves. We'll go and say that. That's a good question. Is that a dwarf thing?
Yeah, so
I remember
specifically
that.
in the city Wamanotruter, which is in just south of Steelhaven, it's kind of the spill out city that's there. Is well known for like tapestry, like weaving for tapestries and for like rugs and that sort of thing. So they're well known for textiles in that particular regard. Different kin might do different sort of textile things, broadly speaking. So dwarves have a corner on, maybe not a corner, but they're well known for good sturdy rugs and good like hanging tapestries and that sort of thing.
We'll open out of beard here. Yeah, gnomes would definitely do that a lot. A lot of their export is quality over quantity, and that definitely fits them. So that would be a lot.
Yeah, they probably make up the story. Yeah,
Sounds like an elven thing to do.
yeah. Like they would make for very like high end
Feel
textiles for.
pristine.
Yeah, very pristine. I feel like goblins and like Fairlith would. You don't think goblins?
No, it's actually canonical. Goblins export most things in Claritas, except for anything artistic. They are crap at. They think they're great at it. Everyone else does not.
It's fair actually.
Yeah.
Look at this cool thing.
Beauty
Yeah.
is in the eye of the beholder, though.
And the beholder happens to be just goblins.
Good question.
You know, otherwise, for the most part, a lot of kins do have their own little types of things, but they don't do it like large scale as export.
Yeah.
Next up, we have from Skylar S. For me, mostly. Which adventure gives off Eagle Scout vibes the most? This would be the adventure that is the most. The Boy Scout motto is be prepared. So who do I feel like is often the most ready and has the most general survivalist skills?
That depends. I feel like Eagle Scouts either come in prepared or I can just not care about a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you cannot care about a lot.
That counts as being
Yeah, because a lot of being prepared is not what you have with you, but what you know. And so then you're able to get what you need from a situation.
Sleep on the floor.
Yeah, sleep on a-
Exactly, because you know exactly when hypothermia set in. And so then no, I would say one of the most would probably, it's going to be somebody that's got probably rogue vibes that has either bag of tricks or something like that where they can kind of adjust on the fly to get what they need or to have what they will want for a specific given situation. Or ranger I think is kind of the easy answer.
Yeah, that's
and
like
especially if they have fletching and then you have different types
You
of
gotta pick
stuff.
them up specifically.
Yeah, if I would say off of the top, I would probably say pod. Unironically.
Good.
Yeah, I guess being
Yeah.
a goblin. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Good
Mhm.
pull. And I feel like they always have things out of situations.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you can trial by gobbling your way through a situation,
Yeah,
which is
true.
also very Eagle Scout like.
Yeah, that's so
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, a lot of that thought comes from one of the times when we were in Iola, and Beauty had fallen asleep at Coleman's feet and was not letting anyone else into the tent. She was growling, and we just woke up in the morning with Keller asleep on a pile of hay outside the tent.
Yep. He was like, I guess I just can't sleep here, so.
He's
Like
like,
Eagle Scout.
I know animal body language well enough to say I prefer the hay. So,
Beauty would have just absolutely just wrecked anybody.
yeah.
Good question.
Mike, what is the actual shape of the planet? What a great question. So next one is
It's shaped like the
It's-
planet
yeah.
is shaped.
From your
Yes.
perception
It's a very
I don't know,
planet-like shape.
that you live on.
we're gonna be useless. The next one. Yeah.
So satisfactory.
Go to space and find out.
Look, we can't. Yeah,
No.
You can join the Goblin Space Program.
that's
Taylor.
true.
Are they hired?
Something.
They're always hiring.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're always losing people.
Oh no.
Oh,
no.
This is your kin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Skylar R asks, would a small minotaur be a minitar? In fact, minotaur children are called minitars by like 1% of the populace.
Is it just the
Oh, no.
Adventures of Wilshire you're calling?
Yeah, mostly
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Adventures of Wilshire, not mostly minotaurs, but some people do in fact call them minitars.
This is good. Many times.
Thank you for the question.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Skylar R. Very notable.
Oh, that's fun. Here's an anonymous one. How early do I need to start prepping a junior to senior transition? That's kind of up to you.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Honestly, that is one of the times where we're like, kind of do whatever you want. It's an exit, so we'll work with you and have fun with it. So it's up to you. There have been people that are kind of just event of like, I'm a peace out and just leave, and some people that wanted some prep and like kind of a backstory. I'm trying to think
Bigger
of what the longest one lead in wise was. Probably never more than like a couple of events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like off the dome, like
I can think of at least one situation where somebody had reached out to us about a year ahead of time and started trying to prep some stuff, but that didn't really come to fruition until about 2 events prior to the aging out. So it's really, I think, as early as you want to. So if there's a particular thing that you're trying to do, then communicate with the GMs, and we'll see if there's a way that we can make sure that it fits within the story. And if it's something that works, we can kind of communicate back and forth there. Else, if you're like, I don't really care to actually think about that too much, then you can be like, GMs, make an excuse for how to make this work, and we will do something. So either way, anywhere between as much time as you feel you need to no time at all, and then we'll do that. As far as mechanics stuff is concerned, the mechanics are 99% the same. So it's not like you need to do any like out of character prep stuff necessarily. Mostly just like character prep stuff if you care to.
So yeah, it's ultimately just to surmise, comes down to if you want to have something specific happen, communicate with us ahead of time. If you don't have any big story stuff, just figure it out during the event.
we'll do something.
Yep.
Good question.
Fun. From Ethan, do GMPCs have novel talents? And if so, can we know any of them?
I have one idea for one that I have not fully put on paper, but so my player character is Roland. He's a Roland is a Draconin, and he has a Gurren attached to him, which are little like crustacean, not crustacean. Is that the word for it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Like crab, like little things that go on the back of your head, and so essentially acts as like 2 personalities. And so my idea was whenever I am Roland without the Gurren personality, I would be not very susceptible to like mental manipulation. So like the charismas, the charms, stuff like that. But then whenever I am in Gurren mode, I would be highly susceptible to them. So like a charisma rank 1 would effectively be like a 2 or 3 for me. Because I think that'd be very, very fun to play with because the 2 personalities are so different. But that is all that I have right now.
I've thought of none of us have really like nailed down anything because but my thought of, because my character does a lot with magical crafting, and I can kind of do a lot of the unique things I want through that way. My character also has a whole bunch of masks that I made because I like making masks. So I have 3 masks, and in game the like purpose is Charlie is kind of a survivalist / I'm just gonna wander into the woods and exist there for a while. So he has a mask for trying to blend into the woods and not being seen. That's kind of like a natural looking eyes are disjunct, so on and so forth. He has one that's like a little rabbit looking mask for hunting to look friendly to animals, and then one that's like a much bigger more imposing one. 'Cause I'm also a neuromancer, so if I'm ever unconscious and doing something with neuromancy, to have kind of the like butterfly wing effect of an animal sees me and thinks I'm watching because there's a big mask on. So I want to link it to the masks rather than to magic. So I have thoughts of something along the lines of like if I drop to 0, instead drop to 1 and pop up at somewhere where a mask is, so I start a fight by like hiding masks in a corner or something. Or like getting different effects depending on which mask I have worn. So nothing too specific, but I think it'd be fun to play more into this creepy forest spirit mask vibe.
It's freaking terrifying. I hate your character.
Yeah, I have the concept of just as long as I am able to maintain doing like loud boasts during combat, being able to either have some variety of minor DR or something, as long as I have like friends that are near me or with me. So the entire bit of my character is fighting with my friends, and fighting for my friends specifically. So if I'm not with people everybody else has gone down, there's no way my character can like clutch it out. Like he needs to be fighting with his friends if he wants to be a person. So.
And then for me, my character Mahogany really cares about trying to get groups of people to work together and cooperate and communicate. And then additionally, people that are maybe not doing as well or struggling, he cares a lot about uplifting them. And so I don't have a defined novel talent, but I will probably have one at some point that will be related to trying to support people that have less experience or are less well connected amongst the adventurers.
Just be a dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's just you.
No bushes.
No bushes. No, not yet.
Oh.
The second novel.
That's
talent.
okay. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Ethan.
That's
Thank
fun.
you. Really great.
Yep.
From Kaysen, how many artifacts have the artifact hunters managed to collect over the course of their existence?
Ooh.
In the realm of hundreds, many of them are either left with the keepers because they're either too broadly dangerous, like they're not controllable well because they just have passive effects, or they're seen as too strong to be just out and about, and so they lock them away with the keepers because they're like, I don't even trust artifact hunters to use this appropriately, or I would be worried if an artifact hunter were to take this out on some kind of mission and then go down and then somebody else have it. So not that many of them are available to even high-ranking artifact hunters, but they have, over the course of their existence, collected numerous quantity of artifacts, though you may not expect that based off how many a artifact hunter might be able to take out into the field. Great question. Thank you.
That's a question.
Wizard question. From Piper, a wizard question. Is there an easier way to keep track of numbers?
Oh
No.
man.
Short answer, no. Long answer, there are lots of little tricks you can do, and so if you see that an NPC is only swinging for 3, and you know what your durability is, let's say for the sake of an easy example, it's 15. Well, you can say, hey, if I get hit 5 times, I go down, and so you stop trying to do subtraction mid-fight, and you just, or large subtraction, and you're now just saying, I have 5 hits, he's hit me 3 times, I have 2 hits left. And so that is one kind of shorthand that you can do. If you're talking about, hi, I'm a pyromancer and I need to keep track of all of my building flame, and I got to keep track of how many hit points I have left, and I got to keep track of how many talents I have left, part of that is being okay with saying, sorry, I need to think for a second, and that is okay.
It happens all the time.
It does happen all the time. We as GMs, especially when we are doing larger bosses and things, we have several people hitting us, we'll have to hold on, what did you say? What was that? Okay, okay, cool, thanks. This is what the boss currently looks like, and then we'll keep going. So there's not anything wrong with saying, hey, I need a moment to do a little bit of arithmetic real quick, thanks.
I do think one of the things that can be helpful with some of the wizard numbers, because there are, especially for pyromancers, some wizard numbers. I think one of the things that can be helpful for that is practicing combinations of numbers. So
Yes.
if you're talking specifically about building flame, the bonus damage that you're doing is based on the amount of successfully landed attacks that you've had. So the number of times you successfully hit somebody with an attack, then that's going to be the thing that's actually building up your building flame. And so the thing that I find helpful is go through and just look at a wall and imagine you're throwing spell packets at a wall as if it's a person, and then just practice thinking it through. Okay, I've hit 6 of these, so this number would be this, this, and this, and then just run it through a few times in your head. And if you do that somewhat regularly, those things will start becoming a lot more natural. So in short term, practice by throwing spell packets at a wall. You know,
Have you done that?
I have actually done it. I think it's helpful. Genuinely. So like, start trying to build up the idea of those numbers as combinations of things. So don't think about it independently as, okay, each time I make an attack, I need to think about this, but think about it as a chunk of, I'm going to count to 5, and once I've counted 5, all my stuff does this damage now. And once I've counted to 5 again, all my stuff does this damage now. And then you can kind of separate it out mentally, and I think that helps a lot for those situations. But you do have to kind of practice it, because if you don't practice it, that doesn't necessarily come any more natural than just counting like normal.
Can't wait for Piper's parents to be really concerned when she's staring at a wall, it's like muttering numbers to herself.
Yeah.
It's what Chase told me.
I do. Well, I have a tome with me whenever I'm playing usually, and I will just write a little cheat sheet on my tome.
Mm-hmm.
That helps a lot. But also it might help you specifically too as a music person. I think similar thing of feeling, okay, if I'm doing 3 of these, then there's this. I'll maybe say the number of damage I'm doing, but I'm thinking like 1, 2, 3, like I'm counting measures almost. So yeah, count things in the chunks that are relevant. Even if that means like I usually do a flurry of like 5 spell balls and then take back, check what my numbers are, and then step forward and do that again.
Yeah, to not put too fine a point on it, lots of classes have this problem. Like if you are a champion, knowing your duelist stacks, you can just buy the same amount of like Gimp and Disarm, or Knockdown and Disarm, or whatever combination of things, and say I'm always just going to use those 2 things together and know that my damage starts at +2 because I've got my 2 stacks whenever I'm fighting a new person. And once those are out, now I'm always at this number. And so like you can kind of cheat your way into simpler math by choosing dedicated combos and dedicated pairings of abilities and things, so that way whenever you're fighting a new target as a champion, you're doing this, and if you're a rogue, you have combos again, like especially if you're an assassin that's building up Ghostblade stuff, you're going to have to be thinking about these things, and if you just do the math in advance, then you're not going to struggle as much when you're trying to do it in the midst of battle, especially as a rogue. That can be particularly painful when you're sitting next to the person and they're like trying to attack you. So just think of your combos in advance.
Also, there's definitely some truth to, we all kind of gotta guess a little bit. Obviously, we try to be as accurate as we can, but we are human. This is not a video game. It's hard. So there can definitely be a point afterwards, like, I'm not really sure how many times I've hit. It's probably been 5. We're gonna go with that, and that's fine. We strive to be as fair as possible, and probably good to think back on some things and actually, like, see how close you were, but in the midst of it, there's definitely an amount of time, like, I'm not sure how many times I got hit. I'm just gonna be at half my health, because that feels probably right. If maybe err on the side of dying sooner rather than later, so you don't end up cheating the wrong way. But you gotta do a little bit of that. Be okay with that.
Our next question is, what is each of your favorite current NPCs? Probably the goose. Yeah, probably that.
Yeah.
Just because that picture.
Yeah.
That sweater.
So
Thank you,
good.
Julie, for buying me that.
So good.
Yeah.
To play or to like, because like I love Chase as Lucky is probably the perfect casting in Claritas.
That's
Thank you.
true.
Like it's
There's some NPCs that inhabit us. That's one of them.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, or Drac. That's true.
I do enjoy playing Drac as well. Or
your Drac is so good. Could have asked for a better
Good job.
Drac.
I feel like a lot of mine aren't ones that are actually seen. I've just thought about them a lot and think they're really neat. I haven't been interacted with a ton yet. Like a lot of head captains of pirate crews, or like the Black Mist and Kip's crew are very
They're very
very
fun.
dear to me. I've been interacted with a little bit, but certainly not to their fullest extent. Or a couple that I don't want to mention because they either haven't been mentioned or aren't known to be a big deal yet. But yeah.
But I think Goose is my favorite to play. Personally, I can just turn my brain off and just eat food.
Honestly, anytime I get to play a troll,
Dude, they're so fun.
that's
so
just
fun.
a good time.
Chase is like, do you want to be a troll? Like, yeah,
Please.
please, can I be a troll?
I want to relax for a little bit.
Roar.
Also, of course, Chase's ambiguous dwarf that you can't quite understand is
Ah.
also my favorite.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Recipes.
Very good.
Alright, Crack the tuned.
Best NPC that existed for about 5 minutes.
Floor. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
I love how
My beautiful dwarf.
whenever like all the players are in an elevator and you were just like, and everyone's like laughing.
Nervous laughter.
Nervous,
yeah.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Very good. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Let's see.
I know.
Ethan, does Claritas have any slang that NPCs or PCs would use? Oh, that's a good
That's a
one.
really good question.
Not as much as there probably should
like,
be. I think it's more of
High
a
elves call orcs pigs, like pig, yeah,
slang.
or porcine. That's about all. That's about
Slang,
it.
slurs, plus
But yeah, I think there's a lot of littler like slang and things that'll be used that you'll either catch when pirates are talking or that are used intrakin, but not a ton. And some of that will be you'll see some more of that stuff probably in the somewhat near future. But I don't know if there's any like large
I can
marks.
I can think of plenty of things of like, oh, this kin would probably do this kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
dryads would probably have a lot of slang that is somewhat related, like calling things rotten a bit more, or like entrenched and rooted, like stuff like that fits them. Or same with naiads being more just like using colloquial words that have to do with the ocean because they're around that a lot more. I don't like do it specifically or like have any examples of this happening, but I can think of culturally this is probably what would turn into something like that.
So our next meeting.
Or like like a Bondi would probably use freezing as a really negative term.
Right.
So stuff like that. So yeah, I can think of like in world some that should happen. I can't say that I've used them very much or there's been a chance to hear that.
Yeah. There's a handful.
Make a list of NPC slang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good question. Yeah.
One that is an unpublished one. I have a handful that are going to be coming soon to a theater near you. Are like soft claw is a child that means it's a child Catra. It is a young Catra because their claws are notably softer when they are younger, and then they harden up as they get older and kind of go through puberty and stuff like that. And so then once they have hard claws, then usually like teen Catra will be like soft claw and be like it's like kid, and then but like parents will still kindly refer to or like lovingly refer to their children as my little soft claw and things like that. And then also sometimes that can be used like romantically, like, oh, my soft claw, how are you today? Like, so it can be used in all kinds of contexts. And so, yeah, things like that. Hopefully we'll have some more of that as well coming in the reasonably near future.
I think really young goblins, slang for that is get back here or don't touch that. They're called that often.
Yeah. That's probably close enough to their name at that point.
They need like the kid, like the leashes.
Yeah.
There'd be so many leaves. Retract. Like a measuring tape.
Yeah.
Next up from Aurelius, we have, would it still be possible to obtain a gear?
I like how that was his character name.
I know. That's very nice.
What is it?
Would it still be possible? Absolutely.
How do you think I got one?
Hanging the gear.
Yep.
Yeah. You get welcome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
This guy got
Stop one in a
These
jar.
little cages you put into the ocean. No.
In general, the process by which a person would connect with the Gurren is fairly specific for character stuff, and the process which kind of allows that is fairly specific. But we have had technically somebody whose player character has connected with the Gurren, so it's definitely a possibility. If that's something that you are interested in, then I encourage you to send us a message about it specifically, so that we can dialogue the best way to actually make that work with your character. Because it usually is associated with kind of like mental states and that sort of thing. So send us a message and we can figure out if there's a way to do that if you're actually genuinely interested in it. But it's definitely a possibility, for sure.
So fun.
You want to say what you did? You got one.
I mean,
Because like it's the idea that like
yeah,
it used to be called Soul Splitter.
yeah. So
kind of is, like,
it just
two minds can't be in
because
one
Chase
body.
was telling a little bit like so particularly for my character, he was in a place mentally where he was kind of on autopilot for a long time, so he would just do these things and he didn't have any like passion or care or like a will to do so. It was just because other people would tell him to, because he was very absent-minded because of something that's happened to him. And so you, as a character, you would need to be in a position where you, how do I say this? Where you would prefer not to kind of be present and have someone else kind of take over your body for you.
So more or less, most characters would have to be in a place where they don't really have any will to do anything.
Yeah.
So no will to act upon the world, nothing. Like no energy to kind of go on with, But just like basically, you would have to be in a place where you do not have much will left. There are some other circumstances that can make that, like, that doesn't have to be like.
That is approximately the rule. There are exceptions.
There are exceptions to that rule, yeah. So if that's a thing that you would like to do with your character, you can go that direction a bit. But in general, I would say communicate with the GM, so we can kind of narrow in a little bit more specific of what might make sense for your case.
You did just say obtain, so if you just mean obtain, I mean a jar and a net.
This is true.
True. Yeah. True. If you don't want to connect to it, then just a jar and a net will do good.
Yeah, my character learned the hard way. If you just pull one off the back of something, that doesn't.
It's bad. Yeah.
Oh,
Next up, Julie asks, non-magical skills and abilities are obviously still not realistic. Example, actual invisibility or teaching people in 5 seconds how to do something. Is there some non-arcane power source that makes these possible, or is it more like a pseudoscience explanation?
You want to give him a couple of the.
Yeah.
Give him a Chase.
Are the paradigms pleased?
Give him the
The
paradigm.
paradigms are pleased.
good.
So I think the statement that I would make here, without getting extremely crunchy about this, would be that
Go on break.
Yeah.
it would be that broadly speaking, if we had a human being from like Earth to show up on Claritas to watch this process happening, we would absolutely say that it looks like magic in a lot of the spots. People actually do turn invisible. People do have like mystically fast bursts of speed. People do things that would not normally be physically possible. Within the context of Claritas, for normal people, that is something that would be observed as being not magical, but typical. So I think the best way to describe those sorts of things is that those things are supernatural in a sort of like they are a very strong expression of what is naturally possible. So supernatural, not in the outside of being natural, like extra natural, like uber natural, if you will. And so I would say that a lot of those things, like invisibility, that sort of thing, are within that category. So from the perspective of somebody who lives on Claritas, you would not necessarily see that as being a thing where it's like, oh, this is a magical thing that occurs. You would see that as being a normal thing that has a lot of potency to it. I think a good example of something like that in real life is if you ever were to interact with a piece of technology that you know for sure works and have a good idea of how it works, it can still be something in real life that is visually spectacular or surprises you in some way. And so this would still be within that category. It's something that still might be surprising. It still might be exceptional. It still might be something that you've never seen before, but it doesn't mean that you would look at it and go, oh, that's like otherworldly or magical. And within the scope of our world specifically, the things that are called magic are a particular subset of things that would be considered outside of what is natural within Claritas. So in general, if you're talking about things that cause the uber-naturalness, if you will, I would say that those things are things like, intense training, situations where people are put under extreme amounts of stress, or situations where people are forced to grow and do stuff. And those are those sorts of situations. In general, the world of Claritas is much more what we would call magical, but to most people would be just normally natural. But what people of Claritas would call magic is kind of a specific subset of things that are acting outside of what is typical for nature in Claritas. All right.
I hope everybody followed that. I know I think most of it did.
So,
I-
is a magical place?
There it
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
And perspective. If you live in a
Yeah.
magical world, magic isn't very magical.
Yes.
Way to boil it down.
Invisibility on Claritas is natural.
Yep.
If that makes sense. So
That doesn't make it not magical.
it doesn't make it not
It's
magical.
not
to us.
arcane.
Yes.
But
there
it's
is other-
pretty magical.
there is-
See.
Right.
Yeah.
Magic in Claritas that is not just arcane.
Yep, that's true.
It's a magical place.
And friendship.
Friendship and visibility.
Aiden asks, do any GMs have pieces of lore they had to make on the fly and didn't consider the implications of silly or serious?
Almost certainly.
Oh yeah.
Probably all of it. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Troll Kids feels like that pretty recently.
That wasn't on the fly though. That was
That was kind of us being around a little bit, not working.
yeah.
Oh gosh.
I'm trying to think of a good recent one.
I think just Powder being
Mm-hmm.
a really like a super uber mensch rogue, and just having us be alive out in the open.
Even I feel like there's something that you've
There's
done
got to
recently.
be something.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. I remember having this conversation at some point.
Well, I ask you questions all the time, like, "Hey, can I do this?" And you're like,
No.
"Oh no, he doesn't say no."
Unless-
He doesn't say no. He says, "Well,
Well.
yeah."
It depends.
Because I feel like most on the fly things, I don't.
in short, the answer is yes. For sure, it has happened. It does happen.
I'm trying to I don't know about maybe implications, but there are definitely
Right.
some things we explain, and then later have to go back and be like, why is this the case?
Yeah.
A thing I can think of is why we can just sink down to the bottom of the ocean for the Naiad
Yep.
city there and not get immediately crushed by thousands of tons of pressure.
Yeah.
I just ran quest at the bottom of the ocean because I thought it was neat, and then later I was like,
So
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Should
That was a little while ago, but yeah.
that was a while ago,
Yeah.
and
But-
it works within it. Then it's kind of one of those. The more we make about the world, the more those questions are already answerable. When we think of going somewhere, we're like, oh, this is already how it works. A lot of those are, I think, older, where then we have to make a way that fits. Some that. It's like some navigational stuff, kind of.
Yeah, navigational stuff a little bit for sure. That's
I
come
don't
up
know, we
a couple
figured that
times.
out recently.
Well,
I know there are good examples of
like,
this.
I feel like when because
Yeah, if we may or may not come back to that. That is a great question, and perhaps we will think of a better answer later. I don't, off the top of my head, anytime it's been something of that variety, it's usually been incidental. Otherwise, I will typically try to be transparent about, I'll need to get back to you on that. They tell you this thing in game, your character knows, but Keller doesn't.
We have a decently solid world enough that doesn't happen too much. If
Yeah.
anything, it may be just like a goofier NPC not being affected by something or using an ability that should be very hard to do.
yeah.
Like some little animal using a rank 3 ability, and it's like, okay, now hold on.
Wait a second. Yeah.
Or a misspeak. There have been some funny of those. Who was it? Somebody was NPCing as a little fire lizard that was supposed to be using little incinerates for 1 damage, and accidentally said Inferno for rank 1 or for 1 damage instead. It's not really a lore thing. But it was not what was intended.
It's a rank 0, 2, or 3. It's okay. It happens.
He was their leader, okay?
Yeah,
Alright.
it makes sense.
Alright.
Great question.
We'll let that sit in the back.
Rhiannon asks, where is Drac? Kason asks, why is Drac? Skylar R asks, but no one asked how is Drac.
Well, let's dissect this.
He also
Yeah.
didn't technically ask how is Drac. He
This
just
is true.
pointed out that
You just, yeah.
That's true.
Well,
yeah.
where is Drac? I think he's where the party's at.
Yes.
Yeah, he's where the party's at.
Correction, the
Oh.
party is where Drac is at.
Oh,
yeah,
that's true.
that's true.
So
That's true.
that's where he is.
Yeah.
But why? Does he likes to have a good time?
It's like, I don't know how seriously to answer that question because there are serious answers.
Yeah,
However,
yeah.
Drac,
But how is
he's
Drac?
been around for a little while and he likes a good time.
Yeah.
That's the why is Drac.
Yeah. That's
If you've met any of the siblings, you may understand that some of them can be a little serious
A little
and
much.
a little much, and he was like, "Why?" So
Y'all, this
we got
place
all
was-
this time to do all this fun stuff, and y'all are just like conniving and digging holes in the ground. Like, what's going on? So yeah, he just has a good time. That's why he's Drac. And how is Drac? Drac's great.
He's great.
Drac's always
Fan.
great. Drac is having a great time.
Especially now, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Aiden, where did the idea for Void Knights / Spellbinders come from?
What's a void knight?
Old GM, go ahead.
So Spellbinders, there's a couple different like meanings that question could mean. Like, where did the concept of something that's anti-magic come from, or where did the specific concepts for what they can do come from? The long and short of it is we were trying to make, when Claritas first started, there was 6 classes, and they were supposed to basically be in pairs, and they were to more or less affect that way. There was also only 1 class that had 7 talents, and then the rest had between 2 and 4. So it was a very different game, just a little bit. So we then ended up realizing that our game that was supposed to not just be a game about people boffing had only classes that could boff, and so then we added in, as some of you may have noticed during the Kahoot beforehand, that we needed a 7th class, and that class was our nobles. And so nobles got added in, so that way people could be like, hey, I want to like interact with the world and the story and be a part of it in a way that is meaningful by being able to speak to people in a way that works well. So that's neither here nor there on specifically Spellbinders. Spellbinders conceptually came from their original purpose, and why they were called Void Knights is because we wanted a way for people to get to nobility status if they wanted to pursue that. And so we had the knight part of that, and part of their ability to progress through their character class as becoming a noble. And then we realized that's like entirely separate from being anti-magic, and so that is why nobles happened. So it's wrapping back around to that point. So then we were just left with the spellbinder portion, which is the anti-magic kind. So I'm not sure if that entirely answered your question. If anybody else has some more context they want to throw in.
Well, it was originally also Void Knights, and then they split to Witch Hunters and Templars.
Yeah.
So that got a lot more like traditionally churchy
Yep.
hunting now, or the Templar, which is so they kind of mixed the churchy nobility, all of
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But then also, I mean a lot of stuff started with like having a warrior class and a rogue class and range class is not groundbreaking by any means. So having magic class and then a fights the magic guys class is kind of already there, and then it started off as cool, so it just nullifies magic. That's a pretty normal trope. And then the more we played, the more it started turning into, okay, let's make it more interesting than you can't do the thing that you can do. And the more we filled out the world, the more it became, here's just a separate way to use, like, a separate energy power source in general.
A different kind of magic.
And now it's funny because Spellbinders as a base class have a handful of things that interact with magic and a handful that don't, and then neither of the factions, any of their abilities, directly interact with magic. If I'm pretty sure. Right? Yeah. Which is kind of funny for what was the anti-magic classes. Now just they have a couple of things that work well, and then it's just a different place to get a power, which I think feels a lot better than Void, Silence, and Tether, and now you can't talk, can't move.
Don't tether. Hi, did you cast one spell? Sorry, you don't exist anymore.
But I have rank 3s. That sucks. My rank 1, you're done.
At a certain point, we're like, wait.
Well, no, they had to have a rank 3 Void. So.
Oh, yes.
It's true, yeah.
My
We
fault.
had ranks and void change all that.
Bring it back.
Yep. No.
Back to backwards question of the numbers thing.
Yeah.
Worse. Noah, what is each GM's favorite type of enemy to play?
Depends
That's
on
good.
the mindset.
If we're talking about fighting, I love playing skirmisher type fighters.
They're so fun.
I think that's very fun. That fits me very well, so I always enjoy that quite a bit. As far as like character types, I really like the like simple little down to earth guy. I think that's kind of fun, of the like either henchman or like bad guy that's just kind of simple and do his thing. I think a lot of that comes from I don't like acting that much, and I don't like acting very exaggerated, so that's a bit easier to fall into.
Yeah, I do like playing enemies that are just evil, but it's hard to play because when players are like, why do you do this thing? Because I want to. But why? Because I want to.
But all that did was get you power. Yeah.
And so it is fun to just be that one-dimensional, like, no and bad, like,
Yeah.
big bad guy.
I think my favorite like fighting style to play, if I'm being an enemy, I naturally like float towards the like sword and board. I will be thick and telling people what to do and giving people a bunch of buffs and stuff. That's kind of the area that I float towards. I also really enjoy the like tactical backline. I don't end up doing it a whole lot because I have a shield and I be thick in the front. But I do also really enjoy the tactical backline. And then as far as like characterization is concerned, as far as like a bad guy or a villain sort of thing, I really enjoy like very mechanically bounded organizational villains. So villains that have some sort of organizational component, that you have a bunch of things interacting with each other using typical game mechanics that might be adjusted slightly to kind of make interesting and complex play, and interacting with the villain in a way that has central mechanics around the villain that make them a little bit unique from a purely mechanical standpoint, as well as, characterization standpoint, and then trying to pull characterization out of that. I think is really fun.
Yeah, I've got a kind of a similar answer, but just kind of minus the organizational. I like to have individual boss encounters that have something mechanical going on with them. Some of you have been to the catacombs and seen some of those things. Many of those are my brainchild that are different kinds of fascinating, hey, what's going on with this thing? I need to do something different than I would normally need to think about. Me just doing big number once isn't killing it, and I don't know why. So trying to find unique ways to interact with boss through mechanics is something that I think is a good switch up, and for at least a plurality of our players, a break of pace from, yes, Big Sponge. big numbers. Let's go, guys. So, there's that, and then as far as like fighting style goes, I really like big, slow, throw out, scary number thing to be intimidating. Also give space. Also, kind of leans into the former point of it kind of changes the way that you fight a little bit if it's not just kind of back and forth. So I like the more deeply considered fighting style.
Yeah, mentioning that, I do like smart villains. I don't know that I am great at doing that, but I love a kind of villain or bad guy that you run into and something doesn't work, and you have to figure out how they do what they do and come back later a little bit smarter rather than stronger is kind of fun. And also with like this villain has a clear goal in mind, so you can watch the progression through different quests of, oh, they're doing this, now they're doing this, now they're doing this, and put together what the goal is that way. I think that's fun to dig into.
Great question. Thank you.
Good question.
Next up, we have Piper asks, how does each guild / faction differ? Are they all single buildings, or is that just a Wizards Guild thing?
Well, the Warriors Guild is basically just it's basically like a tavern with a really cool basement, and then like to the side is a really cool barracks where their berserkers hang out.
This is I like the guilds, and I feel like they all have a lot more character than we really have time to describe.
Yeah, right.
That's just where you go and learn things. The Spellbinders have like a big stone building.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a three prong in the middle is kind of just some tables and chairs and pools of different magic to practice on, and then it splits to more of a library for the Harbingers and more of like a training area with some slightly fleshy dummies for Avlomancers and practice. Yeah.
And then like the Nobles Guild is kind of a more or less like an office building with a lobby for a bunch of clerks to work in, and the faction masters have their own like large offices in that building, but primarily operate out of their own like private facilities that they've purchased and run independently. And so like the Knights faction master has a like number of training grounds throughout Wiltshire that is specifically under his ownership and is used specifically for his people to practice fighting in. And he does regularly fight in the Coliseum with some of his people. And the Lord's faction master actually has a mansion inside Wiltshire, which most of the time when he's doing his particular efforts with adventurers, that's not where stuff is taking place. He'll either be in the actual Nobles Guild office there, or he'll come and find the adventurer specifically that he needs to discuss something with. And then for the Clerics Guild itself doesn't have a building, but there is kind of like a simple little like 2-room little office building sort of situation for the Soothsayers faction and the Paladins faction. Much of the Paladins faction's efforts and like learning and stuff actually happens out on like little patrols and whatnot. So Imric will go out on patrols with some of the Wiltshire Guard and take trainees with him to kind of practice some of those things. Typically not adventurers in that particular case, but we'll kind of take people out with him and have them practice kind of being a front line for some of the guards in case they run into anybody. And then for the Soothsayers faction, there's not really a collection of Soothsayers regularly doing stuff. It is mostly Haisha just kind of having his own study, and a handful of people are also able to come into that study and continue to work, but they tend to work pretty independently of each other, and just kind of rely on Haisha's expertise and kind of collaborate generally.
And then Wizards Guild has the central spire, which is the guild itself, and then there are little offshoot turrets. There are 6 of them, one for each of the various factions. The Wizard Tower. And then there's no other guilds. That's it.
The Rangers Guild is a pretty standard hunting lodge, but it's being cat-proofed currently.
True.
So it doesn't look as intimidating as it should be, because there's
baby gates.
There's some baby gates
That
and
don't work.
like on the corners there's rubber things, and it's not a pretty sight, but it's very functional.
aluminum foil on the counters.
100%. Oh, everything and like
Yeah.
spices.
So powder just jumps on, then like vanishes up and gone. Cat-shaped hole in the ceiling.
Again.
Oh.
And since there is no rogue skill, that just leaves us
Yeah.
to our next question, which is Atasia asks, what is the life expectancy of a Harsudan in captivity?
Depends on how well you treat it.
Yeah, it depends on the captain. Like I don't know. Do you have like a good multiple acre sand patch for your Hearthstone zone? Because then they'll probably do good. I think it's like 30, 40 years.
Yeah, usually, they're
If they're worked particularly hard, maybe a couple decades.
Closer to the, I think, 15-ish years for the ones that are like out and worked is the normal expectancy. If you don't, you're just like keeping a small, a tiny Hearthstone somewhere that's not a fit place for it. Then probably not very long. But I don't know who would ever do that.
yeah. Who would ever put a Hearthstone on like a
Would
tight
be- yeah.
space for long periods of time?
Messed
That's
up.
messed up.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Tristan asks, do witch hunters still exist?
there are certainly groups in the world that don't like magic to the point where they will like organize and go out and like hunt people who are magical, but there's not an order called the witch hunters.
That becomes a more wide question. Like there's definitely aspects of the church
Mhm.
that focus a lot more on searching out witchers, quite literally, or that kind of thing. So I think what used to be the Void Knights turning into Templars and witch hunters, that kind of vibe still exists within the church, as well as like the Harbinger faction master Salem. One of his novel talents is called Witch Hunt. He grew up as like a special ops / assassin, but with a huge propensity for void stuff, and spent way too much time right next to the void god because that's where he lived. So that is on its own route of, that's a specialized person. That is, if there's too much magic in a place, we send that guy. So he is very literally a witch hunter on his own thing. So I think that becomes more of individual groups and orders that have a need for this, will specialize for this in their own ways. Those are the two I can think of.
Good question.
Good question.
The collective is a great thing to join. If you hate the
Yeah.
if you corrective, sorry,
Yeah.
the corrective, the corrective.
Yep.
If you hate the
Yeah.
unholy healing of things that should die.
Yeah.
Join the corrective. I think they're hiring probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recruiting, yeah.
Sorry, you're recruiting. Go and find out.
Speak to your local recruiter now.
Yes. They're always in Wilshire.
One of my favorite questions. Julie, what are, you probably heard us chatting about this for fun. What are some real world jobs you think would go with certain kin?
I think I think we've all agreed. Dwarves, truckers.
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 Dwarves are truckers.
Also, the occasional troll would be a great trucker to mix into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like nice and like tightly in the cab, like
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we talked Wolfsbane would be excellent, like police officers on the low key. Because imagine getting pulled over by a Wolfsbane, you just
Banged down.
just shaking in fear, like I did a break of law.
Do you know how fast you were going?
I don't know.
You could fit so many goblins in a kitchen.
Oh, it'd be a chaotic kitchen.
yeah.
Managed by
Yeah.
oh.
It'd be an awful kitchen, but it would
Yeah.
work.
But I mean, fair lit though, so.
Dark Elves.
Yeah.
I think Dark Elves and Jade would be some variety of government jobs.
Corporate.
Yeah, corporate / government office jobs.
Yeah.
Squirrels, any sort of like scribe, like any sort of secretary job, anything like that, anything that requires a bunch of writing and whatnot is all squirrels there.
Fawn would do a lot of the like low level blue collar stuff. That's probably where you'd see most of them.
High Elves are probably like the Fortune 500 CEOs.
Trust fund kids.
Yeah. Like the
Yeah.
the 1% who grew up with money and just have money.
Gnomes would probably be IT.
Yeah.
Offsite IT.
Yep. For sure.
I feel like orcs would be good in construction. Probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good there. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't really get tired that much.
They don't get tired.
Yeah.
Just get their arm lopped off, and like, oh, well, they're blood donors. Oh no.
So trolls would actually make great firefighters because they wouldn't be bothered by the heat quite as much.
Oh, true.
So-
And
Bonding
just
actually
love like
helps.
7, but yeah, troll body firefighting squad.
Yes.
That's honestly
It's so well.
That's a good pull.
Body,
What
Body
else?
just striking up conversation in the burning.
Yeah.
So you live here?
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
I think what
Nice
else
place.
would
I
be
like.
like-
Sorry.
What else would be like the burnout hippies on the low key? No.
Dryads would be great librarians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those would be such awesome libraries. You'd have like actual trees and stuff. Your library would just be grown out of trees.
Or be really frustrating as a DMV worker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, a Fawn would be a by the books DMV worker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't fill out the I-90.
Next,
Right.
Ellie asks, What is the oldest civilization on our main continent?
Ooh,
it has a name.
that's fair.
Storminta.
Yeah.
Um,
Come on, please.
Depends on what you mean by civilization.
yeah.
Yeah, like
As far as like city or kingdom that is active now, Rexportum.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Should
Yeah.
be.
Rex-
Wilshire is pretty freaking old, but it's not
Yeah,
that
That's
old.
real, but I think Rexportum would be the oldest.
It does
Rexportum.
take a
Yeah.
Like
Like
I was like Littleton is like old, but it wouldn't be.
Yeah, if you're talking about something that is like very similar in terms of like establishment to what it was a very long time ago, a lot of different kin kind of have a sort of like, this is not a big deal established city that has been here for a very, very long time. They kind of like have groups of people that move around and the cities change and that sort of thing. But you can have an established like line of civilization with a group that happens for a long time. I think Rexportum would probably be the one that's the most like, this is an established thing that has been here for a very long time, sort of thing.
A named city.
Also, Felucia. They've been there for a very long time, and before it fell, Andalusia.
that's not our continent.
That's
Yep,
not our continent.
continent.
True. Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's got back.
Good question.
Yeah,
That was a great question.
Really
Yeah,
good question.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Next, Aiden asks, if I attach 2 short swords by the pommel, may I wield it like a double-sided sword? What weapon dex would that be? If my 2 swords are modified with twin, does the double sword only have the weight of 1 sword?
So, if you were to attach 2 short swords together by the pommel, and it were one continuous thing, you're not just holding 2 short swords together, then the variety of weapon that would be associated with whatever the overall length is. I assume, based on what you're talking about, that would probably end up being a longsword or probably a greatsword. So the way that would operate, broadly speaking, is you'd end up having dexterity and 2-handed blades, and then if you were to split them apart, you would need to have dual wielding dex and dexterity and 1-handed blades. And so that is not a standard thing. If that's a thing that you are interested in, we can work with it. The way that would probably work is you have a greatsword. When you split them apart, it would still be the weight of a greatsword is between the 2 things, which means that having twin on it doesn't really matter contextually, because instead of it being 2 short swords into a greatsword, it would probably be a greatsword into 2 short swords mechanically. But because that is a kind of a unique special case thing, that is something that we would address in special case if you had like a phys rep that you were wanting to use, and you could show that to us. So in short, we would have to make that exact call based on the actual phys rep and how it operated and what it looked like. But it would probably end up being great sword statted likely.
Good question.
Good question.
I plan on sitting next to them.
Next up, Anonymous asks, what is the most sideways the players have ever turned a quest or storyline? I've got a little insider information that I don't know. Some of you probably know, but I don't know how widely known it is. The whole Kanaeus being king thing was never supposed to happen. He was not supposed to be the king. He was supposed to be thwarted during the quest, and no players took any actions, and so he became king.
My favorite original catcher games were like describing people like conniving behind the
Him obviously
bleachers.
cheating his way towards the first place position.
The adventurers are like, oh, you hear that? That's very ducks. Anyway, he's game.
And then Keller at the end of it was like, well,
He's game.
My opinion is I played the NPC so well that
yes. Yeah.
True.
so
We wanted you.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah, that's why I went
Okay,
there.
what are the twin mountains?
yeah, the dueling mountains. Yeah,
Blue mountains. I feel like I remember that being a mess.
that was something.
Cringing in the
So,
corner.
See for 4 hours.
There's 2 halves of that. The first half of that was that like that was way back when. I was actually a player for that one. I wasn't a GM for the original one, but more or less there was some people who had done some thieving, and both 2 brothers were like competing against each other and fighting a war between each other because they thought the other brother had stolen something, and it turns out it was just some bandits that we had met along the way that had stolen it. We didn't figure that out. One brother ends up entirely killing the other brother, and it's just a little bit of a mess. Some time passes, and by that I mean like 6 years in the real world, and we go back there, and there's the situation where the players need to steal a little gemstone and a throne from this place, and there happens to also be this other gemstone that when magic is applied to it, it'll create a large explosion. and the juniors did it flawlessly, no problems at all, off without a hitch. Wasn't even noticed. It was excellent. The seniors proceeded to get the exploding gem, get to the chair, and realized they could not separate the chair from the gem and had to just pick up the whole chair. Proceeded to try to grab the chair, got caught, and then started blowing up the entire mountain. Just like constantly just explode with this gem everywhere. So in the end, the players more or less, 3 players more or less destroyed an entire city. And so that was a quest that was intended to be like a little like you sneak in and do some roguish stuff and try to steal a thing. And the end result of it was most of a city getting destroyed. So that went pretty sideways, but I'm still very entertained by the result.
And if I may, NPCing for that quest literally took like more than 2 hours because we were just patrolling. Because you know how rogues quests go. We were just literally like 2 hours, and it just ends with like a bunch of explosions. Like, hey, NPCs, you're good to go. All right. Cool. What an awful experience.
I was delighted by it. I must say.
Maybe not sideways, but I do have a very fond memory of the Feral King and the seniors doing some like we're doing a thing, and then on the way back from the thing, they were going close to. They're like, we're gonna do some scouting and see what this guy's up to because it had been a while, and did that, and they're like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna kill him right now. And I just get to run back to NPC camp and go to Chase and be like, hey, they're killing the Feral King.
I was like,
yeah, and watching Chase's computer just go like, okay, so open that folder, did that.
I need to process that for a second.
I need to sit down for a moment. Yeah. Honestly, there haven't been too many.
Yeah.
That went terribly sideways in an unexpected way. Like a lot of times we try to make quests with, hey, if they succeed this, if they fail this.
Yep.
Like it's hard. It's not too easy to find a way that is unexpected.
And in general, I would say that we make a lot of quests where like we don't have an end solution. We have a situation, and the players can have free agency to make whatever happen. So it doesn't go sideways because it's however the players interact with it.
It's like a lot of quests low key end with the thing of like, oh, like player lead. Like,
See what happens.
see what happens.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're going to move on to a lightning round about some various different kin questions here.
So,
All right,
yes.
I'm just gonna read these out loud.
Okay.
Which kin has the second best food?
Which can
Second best?
Which
I would
which
say
kid has the
probably high elves are up there.
Hot
Personally.
take. It's the fair lift. No.
Oh, yeah. Goblins have the best food.
So true. Nah. That's a toughie.
I would say that.
I feel like Catra. Honestly, I feel like they would have some pretty solid like.
They.
Greek food, yeah.
I was gonna say it is
Yeah,
street
Greek
food,
food,
but it's
yeah.
like
It's like street tacos.
yeah,
Amazing.
it's like a little bit greasier than you want it to be, but it's so dadgum good you can't help
Yeah.
yourself. Like
Yeah.
it very well could be Katra. That's a strong contender. But yeah, there's a handful that could be up there. But
All right.
next one.
I think we should all give
We
it.
got best fashion, best hats, and best boots. So feel free to answer those.
Do we just want to go down the line?
Yeah.
Best
Get our-
fashion, best hats, best boots.
Okay. So I'll say best fashion, Jade's for sure. They got some cool stuff going on. Best hats. Best hats got to go to Fawn. I imagine that they wear hats in a way that would just really entertain me. And then best boots, Trolls. They got the best boots.
Fashion, I think Katra personally, because I think they're very showy and like vibrant, which I think I like more. Hats, I would probably say, yeah, Fawn would wear a pretty mean hat, and boots, Trolls is the only answer.
Okay, I'm gonna say for fashion, Bondi. I like the vibe. I think
Yeah.
that's good. It's pretty. It's nice. For hats, I feel like I want to say Fairlift. Like, who doesn't love a good sun hat? You know,
Yeah.
that's the cute vibe. Either that or Minotaur. I don't know how they wear hats, and I want to see that. But yeah, that's just and then for boots, I'm gonna say gnomes because they're the ones that make the trolls boots. So
Hey.
But who wears? Gotcha.
Fair. Fashion, I'm going to say that it's got to be Katra. That is like one of their big things. That is where they spend a lot of their money, and their effort is trying to look as immaculate as possible and make as big of an impression as possible. And then there's obviously like named, known tailors and stuff for Katra. The hats and stuff is gonna be. It's got to be Minotaur. They have like special magical circlets and stuff. They do a lot of fancy stuff with their like horns, and it's hard. I don't know. It's not like traditional hats, but that they do have fancy headwear stuff. And then the boots, I would say Trolls, because they are the ones wearing the boot, or at least they own the boots. They're like sneakerheads. They don't
strut.
necessarily wear them, but
Which kin would make pizza?
Which kid wouldn't make pizza?
Fairly.
Fairly would make pizza.
They're out there making other things as far as we know. So.
That's
Yeah.
true. We have not actually run into Fairly making pizza. It's all calzones.
Well, because they've improved upon it. Because the calzone and stromboli is just it's essentially the same.
Pizza plus.
I think pizza offends a lot of people.
Guys, they taste amazing. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any other kin. Anybody have any
Kinsman,
kinsmen?
right?
Kinsmen would probably make
Yeah.
pizza. Yeah, that is
Uh,
a fair answer.
That's as big as it gets.
We would have like wood fire ovens.
oh, what else?
What else?
Yeah.
What else might make it mean like margarita pizza?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
fresh
okay.
tomatoes. Ooh,
Yeah.
actually,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's What else? I changed my answer.
Which kid is most likely to join the body improvement order?
Bond.
Bondi.
Actually,
Yeah.
no.
I'd be all over that.
Sammy's like, hey, he shakes hand. You want to join the body improvement order? God.
Bond would be great. They wouldn't elect to join it though.
Yeah.
Like if they were told to, they'd be like, oh yeah, sure. Like,
But yeah, no, yeah, Bondi.
Yeah, that's the question. Want to join the body improvement order? I don't know. Or do they go up to like, join the improvement order? All right.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all about how you phrase it. The Bondi improvement order. I
Good
can't
to
wait.
And dwarves. I think dwarves would do it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Very
they would.
competitive, sort of. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got some more like Bondi dwarf.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. That'd be some fun.
Yeah.
Hyper
Like a fire in your heart,
Like,
literally. Heart of fire is that on or?
Yeah. Heart of Fire is one of
Yeah,
the candidates.
that's really good.
Best at racing? Don't know what kind.
Best version, probably Catra, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Catra on foot.
I mean, as long as it can be a not too terribly honest race, then yeah.
They're fast.
For
Yeah,
sure. But
yeah.
they're just also going to be throwing stuff at each other. Yeah,
So
they're
if it's on the water, Dark Elves.
Mhm. Yeah.
And Naiads.
specifically Thachi would be the.
What about a triathlon?
Ooh,
A triathlon.
Oh, man.
I feel like the swimming portion Knights would get enough of
Right.
a leg up.
Yeah,
on that,
they would win
right?
100%.
Yeah.
And then it's
Again-
Viking.
Dwarves would be doing pretty good until they have to swim, and then they would just
Get to the bottom and keep
just
running.
Yeah.
Best at survival?
Best of
Is it cheating to say what else?
dryads.
Oh, Dryads are also very good.
Just sit there and photosynthesize.
Goblin.
Goblin.
trolls.
That's
because-
true.
Yeah.
That's.
Oh yeah, trolls are good.
Trolls
ones, too.
because their survival
Yeah.
is just easier.
No,
They
trolls.
can just kind of literally
rocks.
eat dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I feel like trolls would survive, but a goblin can survive. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Like most likely to just survive indefinitely versus have good survival skills are two very different.
Yeah.
I feel
People
like-
don't have good survival skills, but they're gonna survive.
Yeah.
Trolls are the you leave for a while and forget something. You get back to your dog that's been living outside. He's just kind of fine. Versus you get back to your cat that's gone feral in the closet and is torn apart 3 things, but
Yeah.
it survived by eating cloth.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah, that's the goblin that survived.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Next.
All right. Most invested at a field day competition. Not best. Most invested.
Dwarf.
Dwarf.
Dwarf. Yeah, 100%. They would want to win.
Yeah. They would podium or
Some shocking
above them.
Some shocking overlap between that and the body improvement question.
Yeah.
Maybe about this.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Dwarves would have a field day with that.
Chase hadn't done it yet. He needed to get one out of the way.
Yes, he was on that show. You can leave now. Speaking of us leaving,
Speaking of us leaving.
It may sound a little bit.
that's called a segue.
Yeah, that might sound a little early if you're watching the clock, but we do have another announcement that is very exciting, and that we have a special guest. We're not having one special guest on the couch, but 2 special
Who is
guests.
the special
on the couch.
guest?
Right,
A
on the
second
couch
one.
with us.
Yes,
Whoa!
Here.
You can't get afraid, bro.
we shall be
Get out.
nearby, and we will be able to provide some commentary.
man.
Do you want somebody here for company, or you?
That's up to you, man.
We have John's website here to tell you some very
Website. Okay. So hi guys. I've been working on the website for the past.
What's your name?
Oh right. Hi, I'm Kason.
Hi, Kason.
I thought it's on website though.
Yeah, on the website. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Kason Fudge. I've been working on the website for I think almost 2 years now in August. So
Yep.
off and on with school and stuff, but since I graduated, I got to work on it a whole lot more. And so the website, I actually released it earlier today. And so we have a little beta of it out that you guys can go visit right now at ageofclaritas.com,
Or you can just keep watching the stream.
or you can keep watching it as Julie pulls it up. There it is. Wow.
No,
Wow, it looks so good.
Julie tries to pull it up.
Yeah.
Julie closed out of it. All right, Casey's gonna keep talking about it. I'm
All
gonna
right.
go try to figure out what's going on.
So part of our goal with it was to kind of like make everything easier to navigate and find the things that we need, especially with the rule book. We also want to make event registration fully built into it. And so all of that is done now. It's still in an early stage, and I'm going to continue working on it as we go on with it, but we released a beta for you guys now because a lot of the functionality was there and we've been waiting on it long enough, frankly. So shout outs to Reese for all of the art on the website, the Ken images we've had for a while, and she just made this background that you're seeing on the homepage, assuming it's up. I have no idea if it is.
It's not.
It is not up.
It's all you.
But it's gonna look beautiful.
It's gonna look beautiful. You can go visit it yourself if they can't figure it out. So please do. We have accounts in this.
There we go.
We got
You
it.
can see it now.
You can see it now. Yeah.
I will confirm in about 5 seconds. There it is. We're good.
Yeah. So shout outs to Reese for all the art. She literally finished this piece on the background like yesterday or today. So huge shout outs to Reese for all the art we have on the website, and I'm sure we'll have her continue to do some more things for it. But we have everything for Kin, and we have everything for classes in there, so you can see all Reese's wonderful art finally officially, hence why we weren't teasing it this AMA. And there's a lot of new lore for the lore, and just like general descriptions for all the Kin, so feel free to check that out. We have some people might have gotten like messages from Julie about reviewing some class stuff. We've basically done a pretty big overhaul of all the verbiage stuff. And so a lot of the classes have new flavor text and new like descriptions to make it more clear what they actually do. And there's even some new effects in some of those class descriptions as well, so feel free to check that out. We're having events on it as well, if Julie wants to pull that up. There's nothing on there right now, but going forward, we're going to be handling all of our event registrations through the website, and payment is also included as part of that. So make sure you log in. If you log in, and you can create an account here, and then you'll have a little verification email that you'll get sent, and then once you click that, you'll have an account. You can sign waivers, register for events, and continue being part of an awesome community.
You can expect the event registration to be Wednesday or Thursday, probably this week.
Anything else?
I think that is most of it.
Awesome.
Obviously, we're gonna keep working on it. So it's our goal to in the long term continue updating it to like a wiki kind of thing, add much longer in stuff. Yeah, so on and so forth. The world is our oyster. Thank you, Kason. It looks great.
Awesome.
We're very excited about
Okay,
it.
Okay.
huge shout out to Kason here for putting in a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and we really appreciate it.
It's very, very good.
Can't
Job
tell you
well
the
done.
amount of website random stuff we got at like 4 a.m.
Dude.
Crazy.
Like,
I may or may not have been up till 5:30 this morning. Anyway, I'm getting out right now. Have fun, guys.
oh, well.
Oh, we're switching it.
Yeah, we're switching now. We're
All right.
switching the.
So obviously that is very exciting. Please, if you are not already actively checking it out, as we are presently still finishing up our AMA here, please do so afterwards. Make your accounts and whatnot, and look forward to that exciting process, as well as the fact that we do have registration and stuff is going to be handled through there as well. So that is hopefully for all future events going forward, we'll have more of the events available to register for further in advance. This is a little bit of something that's been, as has been mentioned, cooking in the background for a little while now. So we're excited to have it be available, so that way we can start running the registrations exclusively through there. So for those of you who have had some heartburn with Cheddar Up,
Hey.
huzzah! No more.
I'm done.
So, thank you all for your patience as we've worked on getting this out for you. And again, just an extra big shout out to Kason for this wonderful work on this website.
And reach for the art.
And for the art. It is exceptional work from all hands, and we are looking forward to using it moving forward.
And thank you for joining on this AMA. We had
like a question or two left. We got
Yeah, we've
I guess that's true.
We could squeeze in one or two if we want.
Yeah, do you need you? Yeah.
Are the fair
Chris, I do have a question.
Okay.
Chris, when you are creating little guys, can you take us through the process of what it looks like to make a little guy?
I usually just black out and then. Actually, no, not really. It just kind of happens.
You black out, you wake up. Hey, look at the mirror.
You just follow your heart, and that's about it.
That's awesome.
That's great.
One just popped up on our docket here. Where might a poor little Catra go to unlock kin attributes?
I don't know. They're all sold.
Whoa!
Hey!
Okay, hang on.
That's rude. Oh, you meant okay. Never mind. Yeah, no. With the Catra, I would try to find collections of Catra that still exist, for which there are collections of Catra that do still exist, and you should certainly be able to find those. So that you need to, in order to learn kin attributes, you can't just downtime and then suddenly you have kin attribute. You need to make a connection in game with somebody first, and then either during gameplay they'll be able to teach it to you, or they'll be like, yeah, this will take me like a few. I'm either busy now, or it'll take a few weeks for you to learn how to do it, and so then you could potentially learn it during downtime if the NPC basically tells you, hey, you can do this during downtime.
Ooh, Chase.
Julie is lucky at Pephamos. So I've got a question for you guys. Oh yeah.
So you're making the wrong.
No. The bit was supposed to be that he just goes, and then we move on.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
For this last question, I think Keller, you can take this one.
No.
Here.
We have 3 minutes. We got
We
3
did-
minutes.
Well, no, this it's a 3 minute long answer.
You guys. What's the thing you're most excited about for the future?
For the
Pipe
future.
dream. What can we
Once
get
we
there?
have Claritas in every country around the world, I'm excited.
Our regime will be.
Yeah.
We will be merciful overlords.
Yeah.
I am excited about the future, broadly speaking, about everything.
That's worst answer.
Wow. Because I'm so full of hope and joy and wonder, and it hasn't, it hasn't wavered at all. It's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I would be good at this job because I would be.
Because I've worked here before.
I would say that I'm really excited for the future. I feel like we're really getting to a place where we as GMs have worked a lot to try to make sure our mechanics have really solidified and whatnot. And we're in the background working on a lot of things that have to do with very logistically dense things that require a lot of math. But they lead to good information that's really helpful for developing the world at a very the roots of the world sort of level, like understanding how road networks work and like population densities and 13 eclipses a year sort of things, and those sorts of things are all things that we're able to develop because we have gotten to a place where our world is developed enough to start getting into the really grindy details, and I'm really excited for where that kind of world building stuff and the kind of story building stuff that's going to come out of that. I think I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to some things that we've talked about earlier in the AMA, where the more that we've developed the world, the more we have natural answers to a lot of questions that are asked by ourselves or players. So that's very good and very helpful.
But no, genuinely, I am excited for one day. This is happening. We're gonna get land one day.
Yeah.
I know in my heart, and that is going to be so freaking amazing to just go on land and just build things and have it just be ours.
It would
and
be fun to
having
have
a-
structures again.
Yes, genuinely, that's what I'm most excited about. However long that might take.
Yeah, that's definitely mine too.
Yep.
It's gonna happen. I'm so
It's
excited.
gonna happen.
Right.
It is happening.
Kelly, do you want to take care of that last question?
There is
Yes.
one last question, which is how do you
Okay.
successfully submit downtime without getting overwhelmed or overall downtime advice? I would simply say, don't get overwhelmed. No, just don't. No.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, genuinely just don't overthink it. Just think about what is something that you want to happen, and you can it can be a single sentence, and that is okay. Also, for anybody and everybody that is listening, you don't have to do all of the survey. You can just do the downtime. If you don't know what to say for the survey, don't. That's fine.
Yeah.
It can just be the downtime.
We're
So
actually going to be doing downtime surveys and feedback surveys separately going
two
forward.
items in the
As two
future.
separate things.
Yep. So that will change. So that way, the people that want to do downtime can do downtime. The people that want to do the survey can do the survey.
The last thing I'll note about the downtimes is if you're I don't know, the world's ending and I feel stressed about that in game, then
Yeah.
you can make your downtime just be a little silly thing. You can just be I'm gonna go walk around and see if anybody's got any good stories, and then we as GMs are boy, do we have some good stories we want to put
2
somewhere.
in the morning, our time. Let's do it.
Yeah, so feel free to make your downtime not have to be I'm investigating something that's important about the lore. if you're like overwhelmed and you're like, I don't know what I would do, then just go do something silly. And oftentimes we will have a really fun time with whatever that is. So
Start small. Some of the best downtimes I've written are just like simple things.
Yeah.
They're fun.
All right. Thank you all for joining us for our annual 2026 Claritas AMA. This has been a delightful time. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as we have.
Yes.
We had an excellent time.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming.
We will see you in the seniors in about 2 weeks
Yeah.
for a bit of an event. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good rest of your day, everybody.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.